Oh boy, oh boy. I see that news is every moment we see news coming in and breaking here and breaking
The
there.
full 12-member jury.
And
This is CNN Breaking News.
what just happened?
We're following breaking news. Our team outside the Manhattan courthouse where former President Donald Trump's hush money trial is happening
Yeah.
just witnessed a disturbing scene.
What?
A man set himself on fire near the location where they were going live. It happened just moments after the court impaneled the full 12-member jury, a historic moment.
It was. Let's get right out to CNN's Laura Coates. And Laura, you were standing there interviewing a guest when this all happened, and I know this was deeply jarring. And
Yeah, I don't know. In America, it's breaking news every day. Something crazy is going on, and which leads me to the other American problem. America has an LGBTQ plus problem. Now, I typically do not like to talk about subjects without help from somebody else if it's something that I only heard about. I may not be a part of that community, but I typically try to get help from others. And so I'm going to do that today in Midday Connection. Hello, everybody. Sirwalterj Jones Show. I'm here. It is the Midday Connection, baby. Come on in. The water's fine. Water's fine. Y'all doing all right? Good. Listen. We've been doing a series on America's Got Problems, not talent, problems. We talked about America got an immigration problem. Yesterday, we talked about America got a black problem. Today, we're talking about America got an LGBTQIA problem, all right? We talked about the gays last week, all right? Okay. But today, we're talking about it in a different way. We're talking about this community. You see, I don't ascribe to Black Lives Matter, as you all know. These pro-black groups and these people who constantly bring up the black struggle. I don't hang around those people. This black liberation theology that many like Sharptons and even Martin Luther King and many of them, I didn't subscribe to all of that stuff. Some of it was good, but I'm sorry, y'all. I like my people. I like to support my people. I go to black businesses and what have you, but I don't get pulled into the banter. Just because I'm black don't mean I have to be a part of the culture. The black culture today is horrible. It's disgusting. It's despicable. It's total trash. The black culture today. Because why? We walked away from the culture that we known and loved so much. We dressed like men and women, like gentlemen and like ladies. We covered up things that only your husbands or wives supposed to see or your close family members supposed to see. You understand? So we have expressed ourselves openly. The things that you would only see in the privacy of your home, we're now doing it openly, and then we're boasting about it. This is why the Apostle Paul says, get rid of that man who's sleeping with his father's wife, but you all are boasting about it. So black culture is straight trash today in its music, in the way we talk, and in its arts, and it's just crazy. Even we don't even eat right anymore. I mean, not that we ate right before, but we just. I'm sorry, Oscar. I'm sorry. I bring up MLK and I peas off Oscar every time I do that. We made a pact. All right, so it's trash. You turn on the BET Awards. This past BET Awards, it was total trash. And I remember watching the BET Awards or the Black Awards or whatever awards. If we were on any awards, we acted right, we dressed nice, we talked we used the King's English and everything. All right, I don't know what happened. I just don't know what happened. So I don't want to be part of that. So today I'm talking about the LGBTQIA community, but I'm going to use someone that I used yesterday. Now, who was that? Amir Odum strikes again. When I was showing Amir on here, he was talking about the black struggle because he is black. He was talking about all the negativities of the black folks, and he was correct. Some of y'all said 95% of the time. Some of y'all said 99%. Somebody said 100%. Listen, it don't matter. But what you all were also examining was his flair, his gay-ish flair. He had a lisp, and he talked, and he had mannerisms of a gay man. Well, you all were correct. I did not want to focus on that yesterday because you all get distracted on how people talk. You get distracted with me. It depends on whatever I'm wearing. Sometimes I don't care how calm it is, like a regular shirt, or if I got a beautiful suit on. Sometimes, people are focusing on the stuff that you shouldn't be focusing on. I got a little pimple right there, and you're going to be looking at the pimple for 30 minutes while I'm trying to give you life lessons. All right. So, and Sheila said he had flaming hands. I do not like Sheila Mahoney. I can't stand her, and I know that is not Christian-like to not like somebody who comes every day, but I don't like her. I just don't like her. Okay, so here it is. So here's the thing. I haven't seen all of it. I'm going to do a reaction like I did yesterday. All right, I saw the first couple minutes, and I thought, whoa, I never thought that a gay man would talk like this. This is perfect for what I've been doing. Some people say, I didn't expect a black man to talk against black people the way you do. A Christian talk against the church the way you do. Well, I'm a part of the community. I can do that. Don't put me in that. I might be a member of the Church of God in Christ, but I am not like the Church of God in Christ. Many of those churches who I get pulled into that messology. That's not me just because I fellowship with them. This young man is going to talk about how, yes, I am gay and out and proud, but miss me with all that LGBTQ. He's saying I'm not even part of that stuff. I was shocked. All right. So sit back, buckle up, TT say. It's gonna be a bumpy ride because Amir Odum is back. All right, let's see what he got to say.
What the is going on? We've got kids at pride parades performing drag and transitioning. We've got trans adults dominating sports, drag queens in Blue's Clues, and an endless amount of pronouns. Something needs to be said. Here are my concerns. What's up, everybody? Today we'll be talking all about the gay community. Specifically, we'll be talking about my concerns with the LGBTQ community because things are getting a little bit out of hand. Maybe not a little bit, a lot of it. It's getting out of hand, and truth be told, the gay community does not speak on my behalf. Why should what I do in private automatically define my worldview, politics, and culture?
He watches sports for fun. That's not gay.
How come if someone's gay, they have to be a part of the gay community? They're automatically thrown in this box of everything, quote unquote, gay. But if you're straight, you're just straight. All of a sudden, if you're gay, you're thrown in this little box of talk like this, act like this, love the drag queens, love the rainbows. It's uncalled for. Why should what I do behind closed doors have to define my entire worldview? Being black is merely just a part of me. Being gay is merely just a part of me. But first, I'm Amir. That's my identity. That's how my personality is defined. It's Amir. And far too often, I'm seeing people, especially the younger generation, come out as gay and feel like they have to be the stereotype. They feel like they have to change their voice. They have to wear the rainbows. They have to like the drag queens. They have to hop on Grindr. And that shouldn't be the case. I'm an individual with my own thoughts and my own mind. And so are you. No one should be allowing any characteristic of themselves to identify their entire world, their entire being. Because truth be told, and again, I mean this with the utmost respect, this community that's like equality and love and acceptance and diversity is a bunch of copy and paste clones. Because the second you have someone that has a different point of view, that operates differently, you shun them down. Why is that? I don't understand it. I don't know why all of a sudden, just because what someone does behind closed doors, they have to subscribe to this entire idea and its entire being, when that shouldn't be the case. My next concern, which is this idea that anyone who disagrees with anything gay, you're automatically homophobic. We should be allowed to voice our opinion without being scared of being called transphobic, homophobic, whatever it may be. There's a strong difference between someone disagreeing with gay people versus being homophobic. You can disagree with gay people all day long. You can not like what they do all day long. But as long as you treat me with respect, as long as you're not scared of me, you're shunning me away, you're not homophobic in my book. As a grown adult, you have the right to your own opinion and your own values. I don't care what you think. I do care if you're trying to stop me from progressing and you're not and trying to make sure that I'm not seen as equal as you. I care about that. Context matters. And typically when someone says they don't like gay people, they're really referring to not liking the gay community and the gay culture, not that individual. They don't care what that individual does in private, but they care about all the things that are happening within the gay culture and the gay community. That's what they don't like. There's a lot of gay people who feel the same way. There's a lot of gay people who don't subscribe and do not like the LGBTQ plus community.
Wow. And truly we have to know that, but we never see it. We never see anybody gay speaking against the LGBT community. We just never see it. Now we see black people speaking against the black culture, like me and many black conservatives, yes, but we typically don't see on TV, on social media, gay men or lesbian women talking against other gays. We just we don't see it. He is bringing up an important point, and it doesn't matter, how do I say this? Truly, Christians are extremely judgmental. We know that. But I need y'all to listen to his content and worry about his salvation afterwards. Okay? Listen to his content, because I wanted somebody in that community to do this show without me having to invite him on the show. So he had already done this, and I'm like, brilliant. Brilliant. Because it's difficult to talk about mental health without me having somebody on or play a video of someone who's in that field to talk about mental health. So who's perfect?
Because of how harsh they are and all the things that are currently going on in our nation. If someone asked me in passing, Amir, do you support the gay community? I would say no.
Wow.
In 2023, no. To the extent that I want to be seen as an equal to straight people in this nation and have the same rights, yes, I support those efforts. But when it comes to this entire other agenda, this entire other sphere, an extension of the LGBTQ plus community, I disagree with it. We went from fighting for the right for marriage to now allowing kids to transition. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. I do get it because not a lot of people are speaking up about it, which is frustrating in its own sphere. But all of this is just driving me up a wall. My next concern with the LGBTQ community is how everything is grouped together. The LGB has nothing to do with the TQ+. They need to be split up. They need to be their own groups, their own nonprofits, their own missions. All the progress that's been made to make everyone equal and gay acceptance, I feel like it's being washed away.
Wow. Did y'all understand that? That makes a whole lot of sense. I've always been disturbed by that. Listen, sin is sin regardless, all right? But I need y'all to get your sins correctly, though. If you're gonna sin, do it correctly. Okay? Because look what he's doing here. How he says the T and the Q don't belong. He's correct, which means he's getting ready to go after the trans and the queers, because they don't belong in that community. Because I may desire another man because I'm a man. That's what I do. I decided to do it. This is who I am. But if you bring in something else that is being all inclusive, that don't belong to me, because this is a one-on-one. But you bringing in a trans who's trying to go from doing an impossible thing to transfer from a male to a female, that doesn't belong in our group. You know, Christians can probably learn something from what he's saying here. Assimilation and syncretism is happening in the Christian community by bringing in a Muslim and somebody from another religion to try and help us, do stuff. Remember the Church of God in Christ? Remember Bishop shared? He went over there to the who are they? The Mormons. And what was the pushing point? Feeding the hungry. they got that big warehouse, and so we're going to connect with the moments to feed the hungry. This is what's happening here. He said, we don't need the T and the Q to do what we do. It's brilliant. If you're going to sin correctly.
Because of how radical the TQ plus side of things has become. The root word of sexuality is sex. There's male and there's female, and the main difference between the two is a penis and a vagina. That's it. The only reason someone's gay is because they like the same sex. The only reason someone's bisexual is because they like both sexes. The only reason someone's straight is because they only like the opposite sex. Penis, vagina, that's it. Full stop. That's what it means to be gay. That's what it means to be straight. That's what it means to be bisexual. And now you have the TQ plus, which is all expression, being lumped into what it means to be gay, straight, or like at the end of the day, the trans, the non-binaries, the they, thems, all that, you still only like one or two or both things. And there's a real issue that's happening now regarding trans people and gays and lesbians. Because trans people are erasing what it means to be gay and to be a lesbian. Because I'm gay based off of sex. I'm gay because I'm a male that likes males. Lesbians are females who like females. Again, we're going back. This is like, I feel like I'm explaining such a simple concept, but for some reason it's gotten so misconstrued. Sexuality, root word sex, male, female, penis, vagina. Now we live in this world where we're saying trans women are women and trans men are men. Okay, let's pause here. If we're saying trans men are men and trans men, they're not just men. We're saying trans men because they're transitioning from one gender to another. A trans man is now a man. What does that make me? Because I don't want the body part that a trans man has. And that doesn't make me transphobic. I'm literally relying on science and the actual definition of what it means to be a gay man. I only like the male genitalia. So by telling me that I need to accept that someone who is trying to be another gender, they are that gender, they are that sex, no.
Y'all, he's speaking facts. And listen, this is why that community and other communities that are obviously in sin can't talk to the Christian or can't explain what they're doing to the Christian, because the Christian not only are they judgmental, which we have every right to righteously judge. Understand that, but our judgmenting is based off of our lack of understanding. You understand? Jesus knew who he was talking to when he was talking to the Sadducees, the Pharisees, and the Sanhedrin and the tax collectors and the prostitutes. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he sat with them. He ate with them. Okay, he did not assimilate with them in the definition of the sense of doing what they were doing, but he showed himself to them that he could be a light. But he understood them. We are separatists, where we don't want to no dealings with them whatsoever. Don't touch me. I've told y'all about how I was at a restaurant and the saints would not even let a gay man feed us, be the waiter, because he was gay. All right. And so when I see some of y'all's comments on somebody like this, I say to myself, you're a milk drinker. You're a milk drinker. You will never win a gay over. You will never win an atheist over. You'll never win a sinner over. You never do it, because it is vital that we sit and listen to these people to find out what the problem is. And a good doctor hear from the patient what's wrong in my body or outside my body or what's going on mentally. They listen, they chart it out, listen, and then they are mathematicians. They figure out what is the prognosis and then the diagnosis, okay? And then they can fix this person, or they can just practice on this person, whatever they do, all right? So a person who's a psychologist does the same thing. What's the problem? And then they'll take them all the way back to what happened to you when you was 10? What happened to you when you was 20? What happened to you when you was 13? So that I can find out why you are the way you are today. This young man is explaining to y'all, and he's teaching y'all something that you need to understand about the LGBTQIA community. They are just as divided as the Christian community. And why are they divided? Because he represents possibly millions of them on saying, you don't belong to us. We are sinning in this way, and it is a logical sin. I'm a man, he's a man, I like him, I like the penis because I got one. But if you bring this guy over here who's got a penis, but now he's joining my community, but because he got a penis, but he wants to transition from a man to a woman, that doesn't make sense. He doesn't belong with us. He's an outsider. He's a perpetrator. He's all these things. There's an enemy in the camp, all these things. So once you understand what he's saying and his logic behind it, then you'll understand Amir. And then you'll understand his community too, because there's a split in that community. The LGBTQ community, now we see, is split. All right, they have factions like Christians do too. That's why we have Pentecostals, we have Baptists, and we have Presbyterians and Lutherans and Catholics, all that. Why is it that there's one Bible, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, but we got all those denominations? Well, they're saying the same thing we're saying. You don't belong here. Why? Because you are baptized in Jesus' name. I was baptized Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Wait a minute. And the outside world looking at us saying, oh, I see now why they are separate. They got one God, but they're fighting over this baptism thing. You see what I'm saying? So listen to him with an open mind so that you can understand what's going on. And then when he's done, you all can ask him if he's saved or not.
That's literally erasing what it means to be gay. If you're telling people trans women are women, and at this point in age in 2023, to be trans doesn't even mean you need to have the surgery. You can just say you are trans and that's that. What does it mean for a lesbian, a biological woman, to go on a date with a trans woman? That you're telling me a trans woman is a woman. That lesbian does not want male genitalia. Like, it's making me feel crazy. Like, how the hell am I transphobic now by not wanting to be with a trans man? When the only reason I'm gay is because I like men. I don't get it, y'all. I'm confused. I don't get it. I don't get this community at all. These people who are trans, I'm literally saying the word, they're trans. They're transitioning from one sex to another. Male, female, there's only two options. No matter how much surgery, how much they assimilate, at the end of the day, their sex will always be their sex. You can't tell me that someone with a whole vagina and uterus is a man just because they're saying they're a man and that's what they want to identify as. That's not how this works. That's not real. This is not real life. I don't understand why this is seen as hateful, but there will never be a situation where a trans man is a man. A trans woman is a woman. They are a trans woman. They are a trans.
Yes. And Terrell, thank you for that comment, because I saw the thumbnail of the Jubilee thing. Terrell is saying, I saw him on a debate, gays versus liberal gays on Jubilee, and it's on YouTube. Yep, I saw that. The LGBTQ community isn't a monolith. You're right. Believe it or not, some gay people will dislike him because of his viewpoints. And some of y'all have already said it in the comment section that they going to attack him. Well, this is a while ago he did this. And trust me, he got attacked. Well, if you look into the comment section, he was attacked for the same reason I'm attacked for speaking against maybe tithing. I'm attacked every time I bring it up.
Trans man, and they should be recognized as that. My next concern regarding the LGBTQ community is Pride Month.
It's not just about gay, it's about sexual gay. Everyone on the floats, if you've been watching, they've been all sexual and shimming and everything, and naked sailors and whatnot. So I think it's more about this sexualized culture, and it's almost kind of sexualizing young children. That's my take on it. I think it's a little too much. And why not celebrate gay without celebrating sexuality? There's people with their butt cheeks hanging out. I think it's a little inappropriate to bring your kids here, but they're all...
A little inappropriate. Listen, you all, this the part right here that drives my chain. I cannot understand how these people bring their children to a gay pride parade. I'm not a racist. I can't because I'm black. I can be a bigot, but look at all of that. Look at the color scheme of those parents who bringing their children to that nasty sodomite-ish parade. If you can go to the parade, you're grown. You do whatever you want to do in your sin. But when you bring your innocent child to those things, knowing what you're going to see, it says something about the mama and the daddy. Put the kid on the back and raise the kid up so that he can see these people on a float simulating sexual acts with each other and celebrating it. Woo! Woo! That right there has always baffled me. And in Chicago, one of the biggest gay parades is here in Chicago, then obviously San Francisco. And I was caught in traffic on one in New York. I didn't know that was the day, and I never drive in New York, ever. This is the day we decided to drive, and it was the day of the gay parade, and there was 1 million people out there, and we stuck in traffic. And I'm seeing all of these, and the kids are just looking at that. It's amazing to me.
About it.
I don't think we need an entire month to celebrate who we have sex with. And if anything, this Pride Month has turned...
Did y'all hear the gay man say, we don't need a month to celebrate who we having sex with? I never heard a gay man say that.
...into a huge marketing month. Because if these companies really stood for what they're saying, and they really felt like gay lives matter, and they felt the pride... Maybe they would represent it in the countries where it matters most, the countries where gay people are killed. Maybe that'd be a thing, but no. In America, everything's rainbow. In the Middle East, everything's black and white. Why is that? Why aren't you making changes and initiatives in the countries that matter most? Why are you just using gay people for clout? All in all.
Wow, did y'all hear that? He's talking about corporations who are making money and who are having ads and joining the gay parades. Politicians are on the front line at the parades, celebrating what have you. But these corporations who've got businesses and stores in other countries which is anti-gay. Matter of fact, you go to either jail or you get killed or you get murdered for being gay in these other countries. These companies will never support gay over there, ever, which tells you one thing.
Like when it comes to the Pride parades, it's just so unfortunate to see what could be a very cool event. But no, it's a who wears the least parade. Not to mention the amount of kids that are attending, which I find to be abhorrent. Like, that's just wild to me. When you have people dressed completely wild and there's kids around. Who allowed this? I don't think it's acceptable for a little 6-year-old to go to a Pride parade and see all these drag queens and see people in Speedos and nipple tassels. Like, for what? What are we celebrating anymore? What is this? What is this? I genuinely just do not get it. My next concern is the over-sexualization and involvement of children.
Happy Pride, everybody!
Happy Pride!
Who here knows what gay pride means?
It means where, like, all the gay people, transgender, lesbian, bisexual people gather up and celebrate.
That's absolutely right. It's a celebration of sexual diversity. I mean, everybody should aspire to grow up and be a gay icon.
That's what Pride Day is all about.
You're right. See you at Pride, everybody!
Why can't we just leave the kids out of this?
That was so disgusting. When you start bringing the kids into this is where my blood boils. When you push kids into your nastiness, that's where I have to. Ooh, if you ain't got no children, you wouldn't understand the feeling.
They are too young to be thinking about anything sex. And I mean this for both straight and gays. I mean this across the board. Why are kids at Hooters? Why are kids at Pride parades? Why are there child pageant shows? Why are we dolling up 2-year-olds in a full glam makeup and bikini? All of it's weird. When it comes to sexuality, leave these kids alone. This extends to even kids shows.
Trans members of this family all love each other so proudly, and they all go marching in the big parade. Come join the fun.
All of this LGBTQ marketing towards children just needs to stop. What are you doing on Blue's Clues? Why is there dolphins with cut marks as if the dolphins transitioned? Why are there pansexual beavers? Like, what? I can't even believe I'm even talking about this. How is this real life? How is this a thing that exists? How is this a thing that we're watching that someone actually sat down and created? How and why? For children. Leave sex out of it. Full stop, period. Done. Complete kapwash. Just leave them out. Just leave them out. Leave them out. Leave the kids alone. I don't know why I gotta keep saying it. Leave them out of it. My next concern, why are drag queens so hell-bent on performing in front of children? I'm dumbfounded.
I'm trying not to vomit. I typically can take anything. I've seen it all, y'all. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. And I can take it. But when I see children in front of this mess like that, again, your taxes are going to support a lot of this stuff in your school systems. And the way you vote, especially if you're voting extremely liberal, listen, I cannot be too upset with what Texas and Florida is doing about this mess and taking certain books out. Listen, you take one group of books out, you got to take all these other books out. I get it. It can harm the whole. What you call it when you're trying to get one, but you are eventually harming the whole. What's it called? Collateral damage. Yes, I get it. Collateral damage. But listen, I can't be too upset.
At the link between that people try to make between a drag queen and a kid. Why do drag queens feel the need to read to children? Why are you teaching them how to twerk?
And you're crouched down into this sort of position here, so your bum's sticking out. Hope you're taking this all in. And then you just move your bum up and down like that, and that's twerking.
Why are you having children perform? Genuine question, why? I do not get it. I do not condone it. I think it just all needs to be gone. And again, leave the children alone. See, gay relations in America, I feel like was pretty much fine. It was dead, not really much happening. Then the kids came in the picture. And that's when everything started changing, going into an uproar, rightfully so. I don't understand why the drag queens feel the need to be around children. This idea that it should be accepted for drag queens to frolic and dance and read in front of toddlers, I don't know why it needs to exist. I don't know why it's ever became a thing, but it shouldn't exist. My next concern, kids transitioning.
I tell everyone if you're a boy or a girl.
Okay. Phoenix would like you to know that she's a girl and she prefers she and her pronouns.
I've done too much in this world. It's ruined my life.
These children have no idea what's going on. Kids can't smoke, drink, drive, vote. A kid can't even get a tattoo because it's permanent on their body. But all of a sudden, we're okay with them making permanent decisions, life-changing decisions, because of the way they're feeling. Have we forgot that they're children? Why is it seen as okay to put kids on puberty blockers? Why is it seen as okay to give children mastectomies?
My name is Chloe Cole, and I'm an 18-year-old detransitioner from the Central Valley of California. I started socially transitioning and identifying as transgender when I was 12 years old, and I was fast-tracked onto medicalization at 13, starting with puberty blockers and testosterone, before I went on to get a mastectomy at 15, and I stopped transitioning at 16 when I realized that I had regretted my transition and that it was starting to cause me emotional and also physical harm.
This community is saying, love yourself as who you are. Be yourself. But then we're also telling them, in order to be yourself, you have to modify your body so that you feel comfortable. Okay, but what happened is being comfortable in my skin? What happened is owning who I am as a person? If I'm a flamboyant man, I'm a flamboyant man. Why all of a sudden, if I'm a flamboyant man or there's a flamboyant boy, he has to go get breasts. He has to chop off body parts. Like, what happened is accepting each other and accepting our lives as we are. What happened to that? Seems a bit hypocritical to me. Got people yelling, be yourself, and then you got other people saying, in order to be yourself, you have to have surgery. What are we doing here? Especially involving children. That brings me right into my next concern, is the LGBTQ community not highlighting and talking about people who are detransitioning and talking about the harms and the risk that come with transitioning.
Well, I learned my lesson, but my breasts are never coming back. And it's like, it's a much more profound loss than I have ever, it's a worse mistake than I've ever made in my life. Ever before. I absolutely felt like my life was ruined.
No one's talking about that. No one's talking about how you have to have a chunk of your forearm taken out to create other body parts. No one's talking about a lifelong prescription to pills. No one's talking about all the health effects that happen on later on life as you grow up.
I've had 7 surgeries. I've had 1 stress heart attack. I've had a helicopter life ride with a pulmonary embolism. I've had 17 rounds of antibiotics. I had 6 inches of hair on the inside of my urethra for 17 months. Nobody would help me, including the doctor that did this to me because I lost my insurance. I get infections every 3 to 4 months. I'm probably not going to live very long.
No one's talking about all that. No one's highlighting the people who have detransitioned and bringing up this topic. Claire White has done an amazing job at highlighting this. And you can YouTube it and you'll find a bunch of people who are sharing their story. It's like, even they're shunned out of the community. What happened to uplifting their voices? What happened to just sharing information with people? All of a sudden, by sharing the detransitioner story, you're being transphobic because you're denying someone from being trans. You're trying to persuade them out of being it. It's like, no. I'm giving them the full story. I'm giving them the full scoop. That brings me into my next and final concern. We've gone through a lot of concerns regarding the gay community, is trans sports versus women's sports. Now, here's the deal. We've talked about this in the beginning, about how there's an LGB and then there's a trans, and how there's sex and biology, and then there's expression. They're getting muddled now, especially in sports, because you have biological men saying that they're women and then competing against women and winning. Obviously, this is a spectrum. Obviously, not every female, not every trans man or trans female is super athletic and they can absolutely dominate and win, because there are female like MMA fighters who can like jump me. Like, I'm not saying that these anomalies don't exist. But what I am saying is that the average male can overpower a woman. That's not being sexist. That's not being anti-feminist. That's just basic biology. That's why we have 2 different realms, 2 different sports, 2 different leagues, male and female, because typically the males will dominate the female. I do not think it should be socially acceptable for anyone to just say they're any gender and go out and win scholarships, win sports events. We need to protect the people who are in the sports right now and accommodate the trans. I think a trans league would be awesome. I think a trans league would sell tickets out the woo-ha. A trans football league? What? Like, come on now. Biological men be men. The biological women be women, and the trans people be trans in their own lane. I'm not saying they shouldn't do sports. I'm just saying you need to have your own lane. Just don't like this idea that there are actual men competing against women and winning. And it's not transphobic to point it out. No one's being hateful. No one's being hateful by saying Leah Thomas should not be on a female swimming league. That's not something that's hateful. That's just, I want to protect biological women. I understand the advantage that biological men have over biological women. It's not hateful. It's science. In conclusion, The defining factor of an individual, the defining factor of you, should not be your race, your religion, your sexuality, where you live, your favorite influencer, your favorite entertainer. It should be you. You are a perfect blend of all the things that you consume, love, and like. I don't understand why we need the need for all these different labels, all these different genders, all these different pronouns. Like, what happened to just being our personality? What happened to being Amir? Our name. We have a name for a reason. That's our label. I'm identified as Amir. Someone says Amir, I look. Amir is a combination of everything that I love, that I like, that my hobbies. That's Amir. The feminine traits, the masculine traits, all of it. That's who I am. I don't need all these labels and check marks to define who the hell I am. And neither should you. We shouldn't be in this society, in this day and age where people feel the need to have all these different pronouns and different titles for their sexualities and how they're a little bit more feminine than masculine. And it's just it's like a look at me contest. This community has gotten completely derailed. I'm not being irrational here. Just genuine concerns. I don't understand a lot of what's going on. I really just dislike this idea that because I'm gay, because I am engaged to a man, that automatically I subscribe to everything that they're doing. No. So why this video is being made, because there's a lot of people out there who agree with me who just can't speak up. They can't say these things because they're going to get canceled and they have to pay the bills. They have to provide to their family. And I just wish we're at a point in society where we can just actually sit down and have a conversation. So all in all, thank you for taking the time to watch or listen to this video. It means the world to me. If you were to share this, if it resonated with you, share it with other gay people, straight people. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of people I feel who need to hear this message. There's a lot of people out there who I really wish would just be themselves. That's one of the DMs I get a lot from other gay men is, a thank you for reminding me that I can just be myself. I don't have to subscribe to what this community is doing, how they're treating others, this role that I have to play. I'm glad that there are a lot more.
All right, y'all. I got emotional right there, especially when I start seeing those children act blue. And then they're trying to reverse that thing. We have a couple trans in the comment section. It's tough, man, to be on the outside looking at somebody else's struggle. Sin is still sin. No matter what you're doing, God doesn't look at you worse than he does Derek, who's sleeping with somebody's wife. He doesn't look at you trans, you gay, you lesbian worse than he sees Mary, who just robbed a bank. Sin is sin regardless. All of us are going to have to give an account for it, and we're going to pay, even though Jesus had paid a price for it, but we've got to go to the bank and make the transfer. That means whosoever believe on him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. You understand? So this is not a gay bashing show, but I let him do the talking because he's a gay man. Typically, though, most cultures have a word, a safe word that protects them. Some of us want to cuss at a person who wronged us, but because we are believers, we can't do it. We can't. But it sure feel good when we can cuss somebody out. It does, because there's nothing good in the flesh. So certain groups of people have a word or a phrase they use to shut you down. You want me to give you an example? If a black man walk up to a white guy and say, you are a racist, watch how that white man reacts, because that is the black man's Strong word. I've seen white men turn red and blue and purple if you call them. Oh my God, I'm not. Some of my best friends are black. Let's look at the Jewish community. Whenever someone speaks against the Jew, disagree with the Jew, or attack a Jew, they are considered an anti-what, you all? You see, that word right there is their word. I can't use their word. My word is racist. Their word is Semite. If I mistreat anyone from Japan or China or India, then anti-Asian. You see what I'm saying? That's their safe word. The homosexuals had to come up with something. And what's that word? You are homophobic. Well, y'all know what phobic means, right? Can somebody tell me what phobic means? Are you afraid of gays? Are you? I mean, what? How do you use that one word for everybody who does not like what you do or stand for? Are we all afraid? No, we're not afraid, but that is their safe word. You understand? So the way of a transgressor, I keep saying, is hard. They have to come up with something that's to shut you down. And it makes them feel good about themselves. And then the government comes in, depending on how powerful they are. It's a small subgroup, but they have money, they have influence, or what have you, and they could get laws changed, and the whole government will institute policies to protect them. YouTube will shut me down if I talk against these people in a certain way, but they will leave me alone if I talk against Christians. Ask me how I know. I had a strike on my channel because I played somebody else's soundbite that was attacking them, and YouTube struck my account and said you can't go live for about a week. But I played another soundbite about doing the same thing to Christians, and YouTube left me alone. Do you understand what I'm saying? They are a protected people. We should never be saying anything to attack these people. That's ridiculous. That's unchristian-like. I know people who are not Christians who know not to do that. You don't do that. These are people. They got blood running through their veins just like you do. You got to be careful. Don't do it. They were made in God's image. Gay people were made in God's image just like you, the fornicator and the adulterer. Made in God's image. Do you understand? So we have to be careful. So that community is hurting. They're hurting. But here's the thing. Let's go back to the government. The government and liberal media. Just because I'm saying liberal media don't mean I'm for conservative media. Both of them are trash. But liberal media will downplay these surgeries that he talked about these reverse surgery. They will downplay it. They will downplay these queens going into the schools. They'll downplay this, downplay that. He just put a picture up of Vox. I listen to Vox almost every day. I love Vox, but notice the tagline that's on there. They're saying it's homophobic to discourage the children not to go through these. The media is pushing and supporting people straight off a cliff into death, into suicide, eventually hell, all kinds of stuff. The media is pushing it. The liberals are pushing it. The Democratic Party is pushing it. And here's the thing, which means the church is supporting it, because black church especially I don't know what the number is, but I can guarantee you it's above 80%. Vote liberal to push this and then go in church and say, I can't stand this. This is a sin. This is an abomination before God, blah, 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 blah. And then go to the polls and vote for politicians and promote media empires to support it. You see what we're doing? We are bipolar. And this is not a promotion to conservative media. No, this is not a promotion to the Republican Party. Absolutely not. They both are trash. But can't you see that you're biting the hands, your very hands? You're doing this to yourself. So you will never, ever be able to rid this evil. You see, the word abomination is used a lot to reflect to these people. But God says there's 6 things I hate. No, he said 7 is an abomination. Homosexuality wasn't even in the 7 in his list. And many of us are just as abominable as those in whom we and God called an abomination. Do you understand? And the reason why God even destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, he gave a list. And he says, I destroyed her because of her lack of hospitality and her pride. And she was puffed up. She didn't give to the poor. All these things had nothing to do with homosexuality. He said, that's why I destroyed Sodom. But every time we bring up Sodom, we bring up those men wanting those other men, they knocked on the door, we always bring up that. But God didn't even destroy the city for that. Because if that was the case, there were other cities he should have destroyed. But no, he destroyed that city for the same reason why he should destroy America, but by his grace. Y'all understand what I'm saying? He destroyed them because of sin, and they had the same sin that America has, same exact sin. And when you don't know these things, you're going to always teach what you heard from the pulpit. It's an abomination. It sure is. So are you when you sow discord among the brethren. You are an abomination. Can't be. Jesus looked at the Pharisees who were not homosexuals that we know of. There might have been homosexuals among them, but we don't see anywhere where Pharisees were homosexuals or anything. We just don't see it. But here's the thing. Jesus says that it would be better for Sodom than it would be for you. What? He compared Sodom's destruction to the Pharisees, which says something, don't it? It says something about us because some of us are Pharisaic, and it would be better for Sodom. Matter of fact, God says, I'm going to restore Sodom. When he was rebuking Israel, Judah, and Samaria, he was rebuking them. And he said, you did worse. Then Sodom, he says, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to restore Sodom. You're not taught that in church. Y'all think that God destroyed those cities and they will be buried. They up under the sea and they're forever gone. No, he said, I'm going to restore them. He says, and I am going to restore you too. Now, I'm in the Bible. If you don't think I'm in the Bible, then you don't know your Bible. You understand? So if God says I'm going to restore Sodom to her greatness, and these people got a chance, and so do you. So I wanted to hear from this young man, and I think I'm going to keep watching him to see what other stuff that he got. There was another video where he did a whole show on the trans people and the surgeries and what have you. It's on YouTube. You guys can go and watch it. I haven't watched it yet. I just saw the thumbnail. And let me tell you, I'm going to listen to this young man because he's logically speaking truth. But I'm going to pray for his salvation, that he come out of the lifestyle, that God can save him. And if God saves him, because it's his choice, if God saves him from that lifestyle, That young man right there will be one of the greatest evangelists we have seen in American history. I gotta go, you all. I want to give you all my little banter and my stuff. You can agree to disagree with my content today, but I don't care. I think I helped somebody. All right, you all, open up your mindset just a little bit more. Stop being elitists and separatists. You live in the world, but you're not of the world. We know that. But you still live in the world, and you got to come in contact with these people. Paul says, I would have to leave the earth to not have any interactions with these people. I would have to die. That's what he means, die. I have to leave the earth. So live peaceably with them, but show the light of Christ, who lights a candle and hides it under a bushel. So when you see them on the street, or you see them on your job, or you see them in the marketplace, or especially you see them at church, then you treat them like everybody else. Show the light of Christ and watch how they see the light, and that light is stronger than anything that you can say or do. The light is what transitions and changes people. The gospel of Jesus Christ saves souls. Not giving a tithe or an offering, or preaching prosperity, or speaking in tongues, or all this stuff that y'all do in church. None of that saves souls. The preaching of the gospel saves men's souls. I love y'all. Take care of yourselves and one another. I'll see y'all tomorrow for Sunday school. All right. Meanwhile, go to patreon.com, the Sirwalterj Jones Show. And let's see what else I can put on there to inspire all of y'all. I love y'all. Hit the share and the subscribe button, because most of y'all ain't even subscribed to my channel. I still love you, though.